What's up? It's Jesse Addy live from the Upper West Side. Mike Allen is live from the Upper West Side.
Practice that. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. I find it hard to believe. I think we talked about this before we jumped on. It's only Thursday. How's it only Thursday, Mike?
I've asked my wife multiple times today, what day is it again? I find myself doing that more and more. I have no idea how it's only Thursday. I thought maybe it was already next week. I don't even know what's going on.
This has not been the average week.
No.
Obviously. Pretty
we had a snow day inside of our quarantine week.
Nuts, right?
It's crazy. It threw everything off.
I mean, I can't keep track of what's what. Obviously, we're always looking for the first comment of the day. We're live on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter, so make sure you jump in and do that. Do want to mention some station business, as we like to say. This has been so much fun. On Fridays at 6 o'clock, our summer concert series on the radio. So it's a live track, some of your requests as well. But, obviously we can't have concerts, so we try to act like we are. Plus, when you do it on a Friday, it makes the weekend seem longer. And tomorrow night, it's Tim McGraw. I think he'll be wearing his white T-shirt.
No doubt. You know what I'm going to do? How I'm going to listen to this right before my show?
Yeah.
I'm going to get into my car, and I'm going to turn it really loud, and I'm going to have a drive-in concert with Tim McGraw.
See?
I'm trying to make the best of it.
Is that because you're putting the baby to sleep? Is that the...
No, it's because I'm probably escaping the baby's going to sleep. That's probably what I'll be doing. I'm going for a ride.
I'll be back. First comment of the day goes to, of course, Jeremy Loves Bacon. Thursday means only one more day till Tim McGraw concert tomorrow. It's like Jeremy works for us.
It's amazing.
He's read the manual. He's fallen into line. We love it.
These are so great, though. I'm so pumped for these because, like I think I told you last week, I just think about those times that you and I are either running for a train or stuck in traffic, and it's the best of both worlds. You don't have to be stuck in traffic. You don't have to be running on a train, and here you are. You got a concert on the radio.
I was talking to John Fox, our program director, about just those days of like we would be catching like a 7:06 train out of Penn Station. And we won't explain it, but technically could not leave until 7. And we're running down elevators, jumping over people. We seem to always make it, though. We always made it.
Somehow made it.
Somehow.
Never had a seat. On the longest train rides ever out of the city. Never had a seat.
Never had a seat. Not once.
I don't even think we never made it into the train. We were in that little in-between area where you're not supposed to stand. We never even got onto the train.
Is that a vestibule? Is that
I think that would be if there was a door and like a restaurant. That would be considered a vestibule. Let's call that a vestibule on the good old locomotive.
It's one of those things where they never let you stand when the train's not empty, but when it is empty,
they don't care. They're very happy to get your ticket price and your ticket.
Part of the reason it seems like such a long week is we had Tropical Storm Isaias. That knocked out power to over, obviously, 1 million. Still 1.5, according to our sister station, 1010 Wins website. 2 days later. Pretty crazy. And obviously, in this day and age, if you don't have power and you're working from home, I don't know what people are doing. This is, to me, says 1.5 million people not working as well.
This sounds like Starbucks are very busy here in the tri-state.
Did your
free
power
Wi-Fi
flicker at all or anything?
I had a little bit of a flicker right before showtime on Tuesday. And then I had a flicker yesterday, which was a little confusing. But my parents, who live 15 minutes north of the city, are still out of power. They have no power in the energy. I'm not going to blow up any energy companies, but they said possibly till Sunday. To expect outages until Sunday.
Well, and that's the thing. You mentioned Starbucks. That's not really an option for people. You can't really go.
I'm thinking more outside of Starbucks, where the Wi-Fi still kind of goes over.
Just hovering.
Yeah.
I found small town libraries tend to have really good Wi-Fi out in the parking lot. At least when we were hanging out with Lee Bryson.
Yes, it was surprisingly good.
They're like, "Oh, you want to be on the Wi-Fi? I got the Wi-Fi." Mary's in here, says we got power, only a few flickers, but lucky. Hi, Jesse. No love for Mike. That's all right.
It's quite all right. She has power though, so I have nothing but love for her.
She has power. I do realize. At the same time, probably asking people if they have power on something that requires electricity to watch.
I got to say, yesterday I was very convinced that everybody who was listening to our shows, yours being at 3 o'clock, mine being at 7, we're all on the radio. Nobody was listening on the phone. We had real radio listeners yesterday.
Yeah, which is great.
That was awesome.
I enjoy it just sounds better on the actual radio.
Yeah. And my dad was kind of excited because he got to listen to the Ranger game. Was that Tuesday night? Unfortunately, he lost. Yeah, Tuesday night after the storm, he listened to the whole game on the radio. It was like old times.
Just like old times.
Just like old times.
It's always like old times when Darius Rucker shows up, too. We got new Darius Rucker on the radio station all day today. Radio.com world premiere of Beers and Sunshine, which is such a song we need. And the line of the song is, the only BS I want to deal with is beers and sunshine. So how is that? That's awesome.
I think it's safe to say you can never have too much of either of those in our current 2020 state.
Definitely not. Well, you could have too much. Yeah.
You could have too much sunshine too. Everything I just said, delete. Do not take anything that I said. Omit what I said. You could have too much beer and you could have too much sunshine. Wear sunscreen.
I mean, at some point, you got to be. You're a dad, Mike. You got to be a little more responsible than that.
Mike said you can never have too much beer.
I'm just gonna all the beer I can handle. This is coming up today. This will be interesting. Now, the NFL is different. Well, they're going to be like Major League Baseball, but obviously the NBA and NHL have been in a bubble, and baseball is a little shaky. Let's see how it goes. But the NFL today is the 4 p.m. opt-out deadline. Giants just had their third player that opted out for the season. They do get money, right? There's like a nice chunk of change.
There. Yeah. This is going to be interesting because the next 2 hours, I kind of feel like we're at the trade deadline where you're kind of looking at your phone or your computer every few minutes waiting to see what happens. I think there's going to be way more than the few players that we're seeing. And shifting sports, Jesse, did you see the new rules that MLB put on today?
I did not.
All the issues
breaking news.
The commissioner said basically all players need to wear masks.
Wow.
So every player, if you're not in the field, needs to be wearing a mask. No congregating in the dugouts, and you need to have. Oh, if you want to leave or travel anywhere, you need to get permission from your team's like HR director. That's not the term that they use, but if there's some advocate for the player union, you have to get permission to leave, like the busing area, to leave the hotel. So they're really making every effort to play this season because they're taking a lot of heat, as you know, and we've talked about it. Certainly that a lot of players and coaches are starting to come down with the virus, and obviously it makes sense when you have all these players so close in a dugout. But yeah, they're trying to make some changes to make the season go on.
Yeah, I was surprised that like what you talked about of making sure they let people know where they're going, and the dugout thing. Like if you watch professional soccer, in Europe. They're all sitting in the up in the stands or bleachers or whatever it is. And so when I saw baseball cramped in the dugout, and I know sometimes when the players have even tweeted out when they were having rain delays, it's like we got 30 guys in this little room. Like what are we doing in here?
Here's the thing. How many seats are in Yankee Stadium, Jesse?
55,420. No, close to that.
You're very close. How many players are on the field? Less than 50.
Yeah.
What's the average? You could go sit anywhere in the stadium where there are 0 fans. Sit on the first 2 rows, separate yourself. In Yankee Stadium, there are no cutouts. Right. Sit wherever you want. The place isn't sold out. You could literally social. It's the ultimate social distance venue.
Yeah, I don't know.
A ton of seats.
I don't know why they are, but
ton of seats.
Obviously, that's going to change. But we'll keep track of this. The NFL opt-out deadline at 4:00 today. As of right now, I think it's 60 players. Are not going to be playing, and some of them are like, "Well, I have asthma." I was like, "Yeah, there's a respiratory pandemic."
But you have Nate Soldier from the Giants too, who has a sick child. This is a big. It goes deeper than just playing football. There's a lot of money, and everybody talks about the money. But these people, they're human beings too, with families just like you and I. That you're thinking about things bigger than football and bigger than money.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's going to be a very interesting day.
We'll see what transpires this weekend. A little bit of a distraction. From everything that's going on that's so serious. Luke Bryan, who now has 25 number ones. And if you missed it, we kind of had a version of it that was from Tuesday night when he was supposed to be at Madison Square Garden. That'll be happening again at 2 o'clock with Luke and me and Katie Neal and a bunch of fun. So if you want to check that out Saturday.
That was great. I mean, certainly, awesome. Yeah, certainly missing seeing him live. There's something about the music video for One Margarita. Have you seen it?
Yeah, so much fun.
Tell me that doesn't give you all the feels just watching that, being like, this is everything that I miss. No. Missing people on a beach, like crammed in at a big party, and then he's at his Crash My Playa, is 1 million people at a concert. It was amazing.
I know. I just sometimes it's like it's nice to see that footage, and then other times I feel worse after seeing some of it. To be
Now
honest,
you see photos, and you posted something, and I think I commented. It was like a picture of you at a bar saying like how you missed the old times, and I'm like, this is just too weird for me that there's nobody's wearing a mask in the pictures, and the picture's 2 years old.
It's strange how quickly. I remember even like 3 weeks to a month into it, I'd see a TV show with a bunch of people hanging out at like a club in New York City. I think it was that Katie Keene. We watched a lot of Katie Keene and Gilmore Girls around here. But I think during that Katie Keene show, I mean, it had only been quarantined for 3 weeks. It seemed like it was from another planet.
Thank God sports are back, Jesse. We need you back.
They're back. I'm back, baby. Lorelai, I love you. But Governor Cuomo, this just broke, has extended the state eviction moratorium for 30 days. Now, there was a report at one point that people in New York City hadn't paid. 25% of people had not, and maybe still, this was a few weeks ago, this report came out, 25% of people have not paid rent since March. I'm one of those in that 75% that has. You know, I'm fortunate to have a job, but I get it. I understand. I mean, people are making decisions, you know, about like what's going to happen. Because you got that money in your bank account now. You don't know if, you know, when the job's going to come, where this is going to go. So, but for 30 more days, they've extended that. But
I've said this many times to you, and I always believe that the right thing is going to happen. So the tough times we are in now, I feel like everything is going to work out. It's a very optimistic way of thinking during a time when everything is so negative. But something like that has to be fixed. So our Governor Cuomo saw that there was something that needed to be done. And hopefully you're not affected by something prior to his extension. But I do believe that we're going to be okay. Everything is going to work out. I feel very confident that regardless if you have a job, you don't have a job, or you're struggling right now, I think time will be good for us. I don't know why I feel that, but I've had weeks, and you know that I've had weeks and days that I don't feel like that. Mm-hmm. And for some reason during this week, and we had a storm and everything's coming, I think everything it's going to be good news more than bad news.
Mary says, I pray he is right. Mike Allen, we're all rooting for that. I think that's a good thing, because we got, you know, a tropical storm came through and over 1 million people still without power and everything that's going on. But yeah, you just got to have, you know, that we use the word faith that we're going to get through this together. And so we're trying to, on the radio, myself at 3 o'clock, Mike Allen tonight at 7 o'clock, always trying to entertain and give some distraction there. And of course, as we mentioned tomorrow, in between our shows, it's Tim McGraw, a concert on the radio at 6 o'clock. So that should be a lot of fun, a lot of live tracks. So it should be great.
I'm laughing because we're having a real Seinfeld moment here. Jeremy, he's a colleague of ours, I guess. He seems like he has everything down right. I think he wraps this up perfectly.
Jeremy?
Check out Jeremy.
Let's see. Jeremy says everything works out with more beers and sunshine, which you can hear the radio.com world premiere with Darius Rucker all day on New York's Country.
I love this guy.
94.7.
Full disclosure, he does not work with us. I love this guy, though.
For Mike Allen, Jeremy Loves Bacon, I'm Jesse Addy. We'll talk to you tomorrow.